Today we are going to be interviewing Goa's DJ who played at the Sunburn after party, DJ Calvin aka Cletus. I am Agarasco. I am solo today. It's about 10:30 in the night. This is Dumb Shit Talks. Roll the intro. Let's get into this. Hey guy, hey man.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm fine, very sleepy, tired almost. It's 10:30 in the night. You're
I know.
tired.
It's very late in the night.
So yeah, struggling channel, what to do?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for being here on such short notice for us.
Yeah.
So let's start with the basic interview. For those people who don't know Cletus here, he is a Goan born DJ who loves, and I mean loves, to be on a mixing table. That's what you call it, right?
What? It's not a.
It's a turntable.
Turntables are different. Those are the old ones which used to
He
be
loves
fast.
to be a DJ. So
Yeah, I love to be a DJ.
this guy played at Sunburn after party at Goosebumps in Magadha,
Bhagath, yeah.
and he does small gigs for parties and any event you want. Any people who want to plan a party,
Yeah, please contact me.
numbers in description. Check him out. So that's your backstory. So let's head on to the interview. So here's the thing: DJ is a very broad term currently. I mean, if you literally go through half of the Insta profiles, DJ of the soul, DJ of the girl's heart. I turn the father around like the DJ.
Say what?
I have literally searched these. Rupert, please show some results if you could. You can't forget it. What does a DJ do, since it's just like a particular word, its definition is so broad at this point?
Okay, I would say the full form of a DJ is a disc jockey, and the work of a DJ is like making people happy, playing songs at the right moment, at the right time, and entertaining the crowd, and maybe like not shitting up at any places. Overall, it's like entertaining people, making people happy, playing songs that the people like, and playing new songs which the crowd never expected, and maybe getting them into a party mood and all that. Yeah.
So that's quite informational. And Oxford, I hope you're taking notes. You don't watch us, but I hope someone sends it to them just for the definition. Let's move on to something, which you normally ask people. What's the inspiration behind, you becoming a DJ?
Me becoming a DJ, yeah. So I got inspired by Martin Garrix, surely, by his track Animals, which was
Oh,
released.
that song was amazing!
Yeah, that was amazing. His track, which was released in 2013, I got inspired by that. And plus, when I was small, I used to listen to this type of tracks before. They were like old EDM stuff and all. So I used to listen to them. I thought like where these songs, like how they were made, and yeah, I got into that more. I googled it, I searched it, and then I came to know it was like called EDM. Before that, I didn't know it was EDM and all those stuff. Yeah, I got encouraged by that, and I built my career around.
It's kind of like our story. It's actually a bit mind-boggling of how everybody's story matches a different person. You match Danish matches Allison. So let me ask you something. People don't know normally the setup for DJ. They just see like a flash of what is actually there. So what is the setup? And the main question people have is who funded it?
Yeah, I would say like, some people see a DJ like, okay, he's doing something over there, okay, he did that. I would say like there's a controller on the DJ booth, plus you have your laptop. If you are not playing on controller, then there are two CDJs which are like big decks, which are mainly played for Sunburn and all those big events, and with a DJ mixer which has 4 channels, and those CDJs are connected to the mixer for big events and all this stuff. And even they do use these CDJs in clubs also as well. Yeah, and if you are a normal DJ, like okay, you're playing at small parties and all, it's a controller, small controller with your laptop, headphones, your software, virtual DJ, record box, Serato, tracker, whatever, and yeah, that's your basic setup for a DJ.
And who funded all of this for you?
My parents, both my parents, my mom, dad, they both funded this. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know that your parents support you. So that's my question actually. And my next question was supposed to be: do your parents support you?
Yeah, my parents do support me. Whatever now at this moment I make mashups and all that stuff. I take my laptop, I put the headphones on my mom and my dad. Like, yeah, they say, nice, good, it's good. And yeah, I would say they do support me, even if the music is bad. Like, okay, they show me some hope that okay, you can fix it, you can like make it more better.
That's lovely to hear, because I tell you, out of like most people who do jobs that aren't socially accepted, they barely get any support. So to see that along, like my parent, Aryan and Rufit's parents, and to see that your parents support you, it's kind of gives me hope for people who do jobs that go against society.
Yeah.
Again, that's the whole reason we brought him here, because we introduce society's misfits. Let's move on to something a bit controversial. I feel like we ask this to people who are into music. So, what's your opinion on the famous DJ duo Daft Punk splitting up?
I would say they were amazing DJs. Those duos, they were quite amazing. Their songs were amazing, and about the news, it was very sad to hear that they were splitting up. They may have some reasons that we don't know, I don't know, but it's too sad.
Cool. So, like, do you have a favorite song of theirs?
I'd say yeah. There's one song named "One More Time" by
Check it
Daft
out.
Punk.
Check it out. I mean, by the end of this, I might have already listened to it and fallen in love with it. So, check it out.
Do check it out.
It's sad to hear that they actually broke up, but hope they succeed in whatever they're doing.
Yeah, I hope they succeed.
So, what kind of music do you like to work with?
I say, as you know, you don't categorize it under EDM. I say this EDM is categorized under many genres. It's like worldwide. I would like to work with say electro house, big room house, progressive house. Then there's house music. Then there's bass house. Then there's slap house. Then tropical house. Yeah, and especially hardstyle and hardcore, which go up to 150 BPM to 160, 70. Yeah. Normal this big room electro progressive, they are around like 120, 130 BPM.
So you're doing things at a very high BPM.
Yeah.
That's kind of insightful and probably something we might discuss further on. Let's move on to something else. What's your opinion on the current EDM scene?
My opinion on the current EDM scene, yeah, it's going down. I say most now you see the last year, more of trap, more of rap, more of dubstep, hip hop is coming up, and EDM is still going down. But here you see some like here and there's artists are still releasing EDM music because they're producing those music and they still love it.
I mean, if you still have a source for the market, there is going to be a market. It's not the same. I'm giving an analogy in a completely different way, but the analogy still works here. If there's still artists producing EDM music, there's bound to be one that might blow up and get EDM back into mainstream.
Yeah, there's surely a one who's maybe like they might blow up and get into EDM soon.
That's good to hear because we love EDM here. So about EDM actually, we couldn't show Alison our intro because he was scared of her. So could you rate our intro?
Yeah, I would say your intro is like I can rate it to a 7 to 8. Or say 8. Let's say 8.
Any specific reason, aside from the words, I'm talking about the beat?
The beat is totally hip hop. I say it's EDM. It's totally hip hop. It's categorized under trap, but more faster.
Okay. Let's talk about your experience at Goosebumps.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, the summer after party normally happens in a random restaurant. It happened to be Goosebumps. So let's talk about Goosebumps. How was the experience there?
My experience over there was great. That was the only road where international DJs were passing by to go play at Sunburn, and after playing a set at Sunburn, they would like pass to that road by that road only. So it happened like while I was playing. Lost Frequency, one of the international DJs who came on the first day when DJ Snake was playing. He had come over there at Goosebumps. I got a chance to meet him. I had clicked some photos with him.
That's wonderful to hear because it's very nice to click a snap and meet a interesting, recognized personality because show off. I remember when I met the DJ at Antares, for the next week, I'm like, did you receive any formal training?
Yeah, I did receive formal training. It was it was like a family friend. Yeah, my mother contacted him. My mother got to know him because his father and my grandfather, they were like both friends, like business friends or something like that. Yeah, and yeah, through him, like my mom came to know that his son was DJing and all that. So
could I get the name of the DJ?
yeah, his name is DJ Melvin. He stays at Mapsa. So my mom contacted him, got to know his timings when he could teach me, his fees, all the necessary details which were required. And it was month of November when I started doing this course. I finished after 1 month. The whole month I learned everything, all the parts, what a DJ does and all that, how it is mixed, how the songs have been mixed and all that. And the next month in December I was practicing and I was doing some small shows here and there where I used to earn a little bit.
So you just talked a lot about your mother.
Yeah.
So I have the feeling that your mother has had the most influence on you being a DJ.
Yeah, she had the most influence on me. She has impacted my life till now. She has done everything for me. She has been supporting me till date in my DJ career, in my other things as well. About my father, he has supported me financially. I needed the laptop, I needed the controller. He has supported me in that. About the speakers, my mother has bought that for me. So I'd say I'd give credit to both who financially support me and
it's good to have parents who support you. Like my mother, my parent, she bought this the entire equipment you're seeing right now. It's all from her. Even Aryan and even Rupit's. So it's good to have a parent, and I only have one, so I don't get that much, but it's good enough.
Yeah, it's good having a supporting parent.
Yeah.
Yes. True.
So, okay, this is getting a bit emotional, so let's move on to something else.
Let's move on.
So, what's your opinion on, you work on a laptop?
Yeah.
What do you feel about the apps, the DJ apps you find on phones?
The DJ apps I find on phone, it's a bit complicated at first, but if you're okay with it, you use that app for say a month or maybe a year, then it will be good for you. About I don't use those apps. I used to use them before. I didn't like them, so I just deleted them. It was worse.
Waste of space.
Yeah, waste of space. It was worse experience for me as well.
I mean, I used to also, when I used to love EDM and all, I used to try all those apps. The interfaces are very weird.
Their interfaces are too weird.
And I've seen a DJ, I've seen a DJ in real life, and I've seen his, not you, but some other guy, no offense. But I've seen his control, the setup that he has and the setup that they provide an interface is completely different. let's move on to something else because
Yeah.
this is gonna get a bit weird. So you played Summer After Party.
Yeah.
You told me of the other gigs.
Yeah, I play.
So besides Sunburn After Party, which of those gigs you played is like one of your favorite?
Okay, so one favorite of mine would be last year's New Year party. Yeah, I had made the countdown for that New Year party, which was like the countdown, which is like, hey people, the New Year is coming. So
Yeah, basically everything they put up.
then the countdown comes like 10, 9, 8. When it reaches 3, 2, 1, the vocals is like Happy New Year and all that. So
You played that.
Yeah, I made that. Okay, after that, I had added a EDM track, which also started with the vocal, A Party Without Me. It's by David Guetta. Ain't a Party, that's the name. Do check it out.
Worth it.
Yeah. So I added that. Just the vocal, which build it up to the build up, and then at the drop. Yeah. So okay, then it goes into that build up, then the vocal part, and then it drops into another drop, which was by Mike Crivello. I don't know if it's Mike Crivello, whatever.
Any pronunciations okay?
Yeah.
There goes.
Mike
We blame
Crivello.
education system for everything.
Yeah, Mike Crivello's Smack. So I just took the drop of that and added to the New Year thing all, and it became a whole new track or something like that.
That's lovely. And I wish I was there in that party. Like I really want to sample your work. I mean, you could find him on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's the same name, DJ Caravan. About
DJ
70 subscribers, right? If you are a loyal viewer of Dumb Shit Talks, just go subscribe.
please subscribe my
please.
channel, please.
Now let's get into something that Alison brought up, and now I feel I should ask this to everybody. So, people have a certain perception that any profession related to night culture is related somehow to drugs. They have a drug stigma towards it.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion on this? Because people have always told me, if when I especially during my DJ period when I had no apps on the phone, people who are DJs, they smoke, they drink, they have sex on a random day, and trust me, when you're telling this to a 13-year-old kid, they want to do even more. So,
Yeah.
so people, if you really want to, to stray people away from DJ, which I beg you not to, they produce guys like him. So,
Yeah. So
it's not worth telling a 13-year-old whose fantasy you're basically describing. Please note this down. Okay, so what's your opinion on the whole drug stigma?
Actually, people stereotype DJs they stereotype them as they are drug addicts, they smoke, they drink, and all those other stuff related to drugs and all nightlife and all that. So I would say people should not do that. They should not judge a book by its cover in many cases, and they should. I had problems in when I was starting out and all that.
Yeah, because that's something I actually wanted to touch on. Sorry for interrupting you, but that's something I wanted to touch on. The thing that Alison brought up is that we know this ourselves, that we are the podcast that interviews society's misfits. Every person we've interviewed till now has had one person in his life that's always told him that his career choice is wrong. So, who is that person for you, and what do you have to say about that? How was your experience with that particular person?
I would say in my village, I had some of my friends. Just some.
Did you face aunties?
Yeah, I did face aunties and all that. So these are some people who told me, you never get anywhere. You can't become a DJ. At that time when I was small, when I was starting out, I had a different haircut. I was not who I am now. I was totally different when I was small. So they said you can't become a DJ. You don't look like a DJ. You don't dress up like a DJ, and all those other stuff. And I totally faced that. So in some part of time you have to forget about it and just move on.
And trust me,
just listen for 1 year and take it out from the next year. It's like that.
And trust me, listening to these kind of people is just going to lead to your own downfall. Because Alison actually worded it quite well. That it's better to do something that you love from your heart
Yeah.
than doing something that will get you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So for that, is that DJing for you?
For me, DJing is like making the people happy, entertaining them, playing the right songs at the right time, making their night memorable, and all those other stuff.
So
About
basically,
the money part, I would say no. I don't think so. Money should come in between.
yeah, you should just go pursue
Yes,
happiness. That's good to hear because just if you listen to everybody, you'll end up nowhere in life.
Yeah.
Because even to start this channel, at least for the first week, I had to explain to people what the hell we were doing. But now at least the colony guys, they like accepted me. Family don't understand crap, but accept me for who I am. Some people do understand, by the way. So yeah, it's good for people. Just
Yeah.
don't listen to those people who try to bring you down.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like people will get you down. Don't listen to them. I had some of my friends who they made fun of me. They made fun of my DJing career at that time. But now, okay, they say it is DJ Clearan going. They call me by my stage name nowadays.
And they probably beg for tickets as well.
Yeah,
That's what people do. They degrade you, you become successful. भाई टिकट दे दो, भाई टिकट दे दो, एक टिकट दे दो, मंदी को भी नहीं लेगा हमको साथ में, एक तो टिकट दे दो भाई साहब.
That's it. I would say
Everybody is a snake.
yeah, everyone's just
That's actually a perfect way to sum it up. You said that you make mashup content.
yeah.
So do you plan to produce your own content in the future?
Yeah, I would like to produce my own music in future. I'm planning to do the music production course. There's a guy named Skeletron. He's also a Goan DJ, successful producer.
I have heard about him a lot.
Yeah. So he's teaching music production and all this stuff. So I would love to do that and then start sitting on the computer for maybe 10 to maybe say 11 hours or maybe 12, producing music, going on making the best beats I can, and sounding my music to the next level, to that pro level. Yeah.
So could this, what you just said, be taken as a future plan?
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely trying to take this as a future plan, to make DJing my full time as a career. Even
But
music
the
production.
thing
as
is,
well.
you are actually right now pursuing hotel management. So what's
Yeah.
the story behind all that?
Story behind pursuing this is
Is it related to an auntie or a friend?
no, it's not related to any auntie or friend and all that. I didn't have any choice. I didn't make up my mind where to go. I was doing my DJing career in my 11th, 10th standard those days. So okay, once I reached the 12th, my teachers they asked me what are you going to do after your 12th? And I would tell them okay, I want to do hotel management. So yeah, I fixed my mind to hotel management then later. So that's why I'm ended up right now.
Moving on, so let's talk about, this is something we normally ask people. This is the second last question we're going to ask you. What's your advice for up and coming DJs?
Okay, my advice to upcoming DJs and maybe aspiring DJs who want to become DJs. Those who want to become DJs, surely I would say go for it. Those who are beginner DJs are going to come up and maybe don't listen to anyone, maybe your friends or maybe some artists, or maybe they make fun of you, make fun of your style, and don't listen to them.
Oh, what's
Just-
it?
Yeah, just take it from one year, take it out from the other year. You have to just do that, and don't focus completely on them. Focus on your career. Focus on the DJing part. It will be good in future, but now you have to just work hard, and maybe one day you might become a successful DJ.
Yeah, this is one bit of advice from me, which I've actually learned from an interview with Mr. Beast by Colin and Samir. And we actually trying to put in practice right now. Any aspiring professional in any job, whatever your job is, do the best of that as you can. If you're a YouTuber, produce the best videos possible.
Yeah.
if you are a DJ, try to increase the quality of your music until it's the best you can make with your current setup.
Yeah.
You're a cook, best dish you could ever make.
Best dishes.
That's at least my advice to anybody who's watching this. Be the best with whatever you have. At one point in time, does this happen to you? Because like I remember when we just had this camera, not even it's a phone.
Yeah.
We were like, we have to get a camera, we have to get a VC, we have to get an acoustic padding, this and that and that and that. So like, did it ever happen to you?
Yeah, it happened to me like when I was working on virtual DJ, which on the laptop. So I was working on it. Like I want this stuff. Okay, I want those speakers. I want those big speakers. I want to like hold all those. I had that craze about speakers and all that stuff. So yeah, in one time I did have that.
I mean, everybody's gonna face it, but the thing is, you have to overcome it because you have to be realistic. I'm portrayed as the more optimistic, run head first with everything guy. But at least even right now, for me, knowing my financial status, trust me, if you try to make the best of what you have, the audience, no matter who it is gonna feel you. And they're gonna connect with you and they're gonna love what you do. No matter how shit it is.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the final question. If I don't ask it, Rupert will kill me. Do you play any video games?
Yeah, I do play video games like FIFA. FIFA is one of my
All-time favorites?
All-time favorites. I like to play FIFA. The next all-time favorite is like Battlegrounds Mobile India, which recently all that dumb things which are happening. It's normal.
It's not.
So yeah.
COD Mobile?
COD Mobile, some COD Mobile. I play some here and there games. Counter Strike, sure.
Yeah.
GTA.
Who doesn't?
When I was small, I used to play GTA.
We are actually getting a shot on GTA, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and those are the games. And maybe like some online games I play.
Okay, that's kind of nice to hear that at least another creator is, playing games. Jan, I'm very disappointed with you. Just joking. So yeah, that concludes our interview. My name is Agarasko. I'm alone, and I'm with DJ Calvin. Signing off. Peace.
Peace.